Hey guys, doing a cube draft here on MTGO. This first pack is pretty unexciting, really. No Power 9, nothing really super exciting to build around, so I'm just going to go with the safest pick, really the only first pickable card here, which is Goblin Guide. There's also a Necromancy, which is fine for the Reanimator strategy, and nothing else really that great. Siege Gang Commander is okay for mono red, but you don't really want to take 5 drops over 1 drops in the early stages at least, so pretty easy pick. I'll just take the Goblin Guide. And as with one of my previous videos, I'm recording this audio post-production because my Microsoft decided to, or my microphone decided to do strange things and not work. So the second pack is not very good for mono red. Thinking about possibly a splash of green for something like Huntmaster, or taking Elish Norn and going a completely different direction. Basically, this pack is just a bunch of cards I don't want to play against, but I decided to keep going with the red strategy and take the Inferno Titan. It's basically between that and Huntmaster if I was going to continue being red, and Huntmaster doesn't quite fit in with the mono red aggro strategy. There's much better 4-drops like Koth and Bloodbraid Elf and so on. You don't really care about your own life in mono red. Alright, this pack is equally bad for mono red. The only mono red card in here is Chaos Warp, which isn't typically a very solid option. Once again, we see a card we don't want to play against, which is Thragtusk, and I'm starting to consider moving out of mono red just because of how weak these packs are, but looking very seriously at this Prophetic Bolt because it's a fine 5-drop, especially if we have an Inferno Titan in hand or something like that. You know, make sure we get that 6 land, or always have action the turn after you play Prophetic Bolt. Alright, this pack is much less close. It's definitely Magma Jet here. Better than Chandra. Empty the Warrens is not good. Even if you're in Storm, trying to make Storm work with Empty the Warrens alone isn't going to work. So yeah, just take the Magma Jet. One of the best 2-drop removal spells. And Fire Blast is another easy pickup for mono red. It's an amazing finisher. Equatable to something like Force of Will in that you don't have to pay any mana to use it. So it's like a 0-drop late game win spell, or removal if you have to in tight squeezes, but yeah, Fire Blast is very good. Yeah, right now I'm just looking to pick up more early game stuff. 2 and 3-drop creatures, so on. Alright, there's a Teetering Peaks or a Steam Vents, and since I took the Prophetic Bolt, I decided to go with the Steam Vents here. Fire Spout's also okay, depending on if I choose to go aggro or more control, like the Inferno Titan or the Goblin Guide route. But Steam Vents is the safest pick over Teetering Peaks. Alright, Lightning Bolt is not even close. Going to be the pick here. There's a Wooded Foothills as well, but I'll definitely take the Lightning Bolt here. Obviously one of the best red spells ever printed. One mana, 3 damage is pretty strong, and there's a reason they took it out of core set in M12. Alright, Rakdos Cackler continues the mono red. 1-drop 2/2s are always strong. Alright, and this pack is less exciting, but I choose to go with the Ruin Blaster over the Siege Gang Commander because our late game's already going to be very good with Prophetic Bolt and Inferno Titan. And then hopefully Chandra if it wheels out of the next couple packs. Yeah, so I'm still looking to get some creatures because those are very important. Just low drop creatures to flood the board with. Alright, I could hate an Oblivion Ring, but I choose to go with the Boiler Works just because, again, I want to splash this Prophetic Bolt. And already with just those 2 lands, we don't really have to worry about more fixing if Bolt is our only other blue card. Alright, here I decided to just go with the Chaos Warp because it is removal if we need to, even though I don't really want to play with it. It's a solid option as like our 23rd card if we have to. And as hoped for, Chandra does come back. So our late game is definitely set. We just have to worry about our early game now. Alright, and Maelstrom Pulse is obviously not as good in Cube as it is in other formats, but I take the green fixing just in case, and followed up with a green card with Fire Spout in case we want to kill some flyers. Although Fire Spout and other board wipes in red like Earthquake are not that great in mono red generally because you have a bunch of low drop creatures, it can be a fine sideboard card. Alright, last pick on our Mono Worm that I'm not going to play, clearly. and move on to pack 2. Alright, well, this is about the easiest pick you could see. The only red card in the pack, and also happens to be one of the best mono red cards in the cube. There's also some decent blue cards, and a flooded strand that can get my steam vents if I want to. But yeah, not even close. We're taking the vortex. Alright, and we followed up with a terrible pack for us, which is not a single red card. Yeah, basically I'm looking at possibly the Archmage because we are considering blue with the Prophetic Bolt. I'm also looking at the Tropical Island in case I want to splash both green and blue. Or just go straight rug if my red continues to get cut off, which I hope doesn't happen, but I'll just take the island. Alright, there's an Incinerate, there's a Taiga, and a Bloodstained Mire, which can fetch my steam vents. But yeah, I'm definitely looking at Incinerate. Just low drop removal and creatures are my what I'm looking for right now over anything else. Alright, then this pack has a Firebolt and a Hellspark Elemental, as well as the Tattermunge Maniac, and I'm not really sure which is best between all of those, but I decided to go with the Hellspark Elemental, because as I said, I'm a little low on creatures, and that's something you really want a lot of in that early game. You know, a 2 mana, 3 power haste that has Unearth is very, very good for mono red, probably better than Fire Blast. Alright, and then another bad pack for us. Winter's Orb is okay against control. There's also an Etched Oracle, which isn't really going to be played in mono red at all, and a Gruul Turf, which can be used to splash. It's also a Vesuvan Shapeshifter. Even though it's double blue, it's pretty much just 4 in a blue, and then you know you morph it at instant speed, and it's like an instant speed phantasmal image, which is fine. So even though I don't really want to play it, I'll take it here. Yeah, at worst it's a 2/2 for 3, and at best it can copy an Emrakul. So never know. And this pack, there's a Lightning Helix for low drop removal. There's an Arid Mesa, which can not fetch Tropical Island, unfortunately, but it can fetch Steam Vents. It's also a Nip-Mizzet that I'm not really considering because my late game's already very good. But yeah, it's basically just between Lightning Helix and Arid Mesa. And possibly something like Faith's Fetters, which is very good. If I wanted to splash white, it might be for that instead of Lightning Helix, but probably not. But I just decided to go the safe route, take an Arid Mesa, make sure my mana is acceptable. And this pack is another easy one. Take a Mogwar War Marshal as a 2 power, 2 mana creature, which is okay, it's not great. And this pack is between Chain Lightning and Figure of Destiny. And even though Figure of Destiny is fine in mono red, Chain Lightning is better. Yeah, there's very much nothing for us, so we'll just take an Akroma's Vengeance and hope that we don't play against the ramp control deck, because that would be very good against us. Although, if you're ramping with artifacts like the Signets, Akroma's Vengeance isn't the best, but it does stop our strategy pretty good. And again, nothing for us. I'm really hoping at this point that mono red's not being cut off by someone else in the draft, but it's possible these are just very weak packs. But it's like a Wild Nacatl, because I am considering green slightly with Fire Spout, and possibly white with like Arid Mesa and other fixing. Alright, another fairly straightforward pick. I could take an Oust, which is not very good, or just take the fixing. Make it very easy to splash blue for Prophetic Bolt and possibly the Shapeshifter. Alright, Firebolt came back and Tattermunge Maniac. Another pick I'm not quite sure of, but again, the 1-drop creatures are really, really important, and having 3 of them is going to be much better than just having another removal spell, in my opinion. And there's a Flicker Wisp, which might be good against me, but I'll take the Ancient Law in case I decide to move into some kind of Boros aggro deck. Same with the Faith's Fetters. And Loam Lion, which is certainly not going to be played. So yeah, that's the first 2 packs, and let's hope for more goodies.